you so much. Can I just compliment you that you look radiant for 54? Wow, amazing. Okay. All right, I'm going to be bringing in my next guest. And if I can get you to join us, Marcia. Hi, Marcia.
Hi.
So who is Marcia? We want to know you.
So hi, everyone. Everyone out there in Facebook world, everyone on the Zoom. My name is Marcia, as Charity just introduced me. And yes, as the amazing Sheila just said, she's 54, I'm 53. And yeah, metabolism, people that are everybody's going to age at some point. And not because you're in the 50s, it doesn't mean that your metabolism won't slow down. So yeah, 53, I have one son. I have 2 grandchildren.
Ooh.
And I'm in the entrepreneurial world as well. I am a nurse by profession, and also I have a healthcare management degree, which I'm using with Juice Plus at the moment. I use it to help me with my marketing and stuff like that, and how to organize myself. And that's who I am.
Wow, thank you so much, Marcia. Wow, a grandma. Wow. Yep. Guys, she doesn't look it, does she? Oh, I must compliment you for 53. I'm looking at, am I the youngest one here? Oh my God.
The baby of the house.
I'm the baby of the house. Okay, thank you so much, Sheila. Thank you so much, Marcia, for introducing yourself. So I'm going to be bringing in my next guest. Where are you? Surprise, it's a gentleman this time. So I welcome you, Pastor Fred. If you can unmute yourself and tell our amazing audience who is Pastor Fred.
All right, right on. Good evening, lovely evening to everybody here on this platform. Let me first give honor to whom honor is due. Boss Lady Charity and the team doing a fantastic job. Thank you very much. I deem it a great honor to be invited here. I don't take that lightly. Let me give a quick shout out also to Facebook. Facebook, thank you very much for you guys, wherever you are on this corridor. We're coming your way and we're excited to have you. Well, I am Fred Abeka, based here in the east of London. And most people know me popularly as Pastor Fred because I'm a pastor of a ministry called Full Gospel Church International and overseeing the London branch. We've got various branches all over back in my home country in Ghana, but we've got branches in Spain, in Italy, and also we've just opened 2 here, and I'm overseeing the one in London. My academic background, I'm a translator by profession in French and Spanish, worked with it for so many years. I'm also an educational consultant and also a budding entrepreneur, something that has been my dream. And so when Juice Plus came along, I'm telling you, I dived into it. As it were, taking no chances, and we're going into it. Apart from that, married to Lady P, who is also happens to be in the business. We've got 4 children, and my age will shock you. Just get ready for that. Put on that breastplate and put on those, shock absorbers. I am 58, but I tell you what, if I told them 50, you wouldn't believe that, isn't it? There we go. That helps you. You see this dude here? That's what I'm talking about. That's what Juice Plus can do.
Wow. Pastor Fred, thank you so much. Wow. So guys, I'm the youngest here now. I'm just 50. Yeah. I am the youngest, and I am going to say thank you guys. I count this a great privilege to have you guys here. And we are, it's interesting and it's fascinating to know that it's not about your age. It's not about, how old you are, but it's all about your health. And that's why we are here, the pathway to good health. And in tonight's edition, we're talking about
why do women or men
our metabolism,
slow down with age,
you know, and as we age,
help anyone,
you know, it tends to decrease.
Hello everybody.
And this is as a result of so many things that you're going to be hearing tonight. You know, I don't want to take it out from my guest speakers. I've got my amazing guest speakers who are going to be sharing, and they're also going to be sharing their own experience, you know, what has brought them into doing what they are doing. You know, when your metabolism is low, you tend to lack energy. You tend to lack so many things, you know, and that your, you know, it slows down, you know, your digestive system becomes slow, it gets shut down, and so many things. So tonight we're going to find out what am I going to be doing? What do I really need to do as I add another year to my age every year as I grow in age and all of that? What do I really need to do? But I want to say this to everyone out there. Don't say because you're not 50 yet. And don't say because, every single person here is 50 plus. So it's not my time. Please pay good attention to whatever tips that you're going to hear, whatever information that you're going to get from tonight's meeting. Take it with you and run you. And like I said, that as soon as you hit 40, your metabolism decreases every decade by 5%. So it's not just when you get to 50. So we have got so much work to do. So they said when you start something earlier, they said prevention is better than cure. So it's better for you to prevent and knowing what to do that would always keep your metabolism at the top, so that as you get older, you know, those chemicals that thrive to keep you effective and keep you energetic will still be intact. So I want to kick off with you, Pastor Sheila. You know, I know you are in the medical field, same as Marcia. So I want you to give us a little bit. What is this? Why do you think it's good for us, regardless of what your age might be? Why is it important that you must keep your metabolism at the top?
Wow, thank you so much, Coach Charity, for that. You know, I just love that question. You know, because as long as you are a human being, metabolism is actually life. When metabolism ceases, you actually die. You know, and when we are aging, that's why we see that metabolism is slowing down, because it is part of the dying process. And that is why, right from birth, we have to start looking at metabolism. You know, even when a baby is born, you see to say the skin that the baby was born with in the womb will peel off. It will die and peel off. You know, and we are constantly growing new skin. Metabolism is a process of life, because metabolism is, you know, when we take in food, the food that we take in, the body cannot use it in that form that it is. So there has to be a way. Metabolism is a way that food, together with oxygen, it is converted into energy. The calories are burnt into energy, so that we know all the processes of life, our heart beating, you know, our lungs working, our kidneys, our, you know, us being able to walk, us being able to do everything. We actually need metabolism. And that is why it's very, very important, because health is like a bank. Health is like a bank. You know, the Bible says that as your years, so shall your strength be. If we are taking care of our health, we can age with strength. We can age with good health by God's grace. So whatever we do from the time that we are young, like you said, people shouldn't say until I get to 40 or 50. That's when I should begin to work on my metabolism. No, we have to start with our kids. We have to start with actually a pregnant mother taking care of her health, boosting her metabolism through her lifestyle change, and a lot of other things that we are going to talk about that are able to boost or support our metabolism. So it's not about when you age, it's a lifestyle, you know. Supporting or boosting our metabolism should be a lifestyle, because that is what will give us the quality of life. That if we want to have a quality of life up to our old age, it is about boosting our metabolism through our lifestyle changes and a lot of other things I don't want to preempt that we are going to talk about tonight.
Wow. Thank you so much, Pastor Sheila. Thank you so much for that breakdown. I love what you talked about, guys. She said, even from a pregnant woman. So right, that means even from when that child is yet to be born, it's always good to keep your metabolism on the top. That means your health matters, regardless of what your age might be. Now, it has been shown in research that women, loses muscle quicker than men as they age. So it's not kudos to the men, yeah, but it's more of that we as women, as we age, we must make sure that we take good care of our health. So I'm going to come to you, Pastor Fred, and we know that when our metabolism is slow, our energy goes down. Yeah. And I've heard your story in the past. I've heard your testimonial in the past as regards to with the kind of job that you do, with the kind of job that you do and how it's kind of affected you and all of that. I want you to actually elaborate to us, what does it mean as regards to when your metabolism is really, really low and you're not doing anything about it?
All right. Thank you very, very much. I would say, Pastor Sheila, that was really, really apt and really, really succinct. And I'm glad that you mentioned that aspect of the fact that as you begin to age, your metabolism begins to sort of slow down. So back to the question where Boss Lady Charity asked concerning this area of metabolism. What I want to say is that I'm going to come from a layman's point of view and put in some practicality in it so that we'll get it from that perspective, so that the professionals will do the professional job, so to speak. Well, I'm not a medical sort of expert, but I've come to pick up a few things by reason of experimentation, reading around a bit. So once again, first of all, I always like to break it down and simplify metabolism like this, in a layman's term, right? So metabolism, as we just spoke about, when it begins to decline, right? Now, the way I see it is like, a piece of metal, right? A piece of metal which has been left to the atmosphere, and the piece of metal begins to rust. Okay. Now, once the piece of metal begins to rust, which we all have borne witness to have a metal rust, a few things begin to come into play. Once the metal begins to rust, now first of all, the metal begins to get squeaky. Of course, certain compositions of that particular metal begins to drop off. It can, when you want to use it, even it can break into two. It is no more robust as it used to be, right? So in the same way as well, when it comes to us human beings, once your metabolism begins to drop, then there will be telltale signs. There will be telltale signs, and those telltale signs vary from person to person. But we've got the general aspects of it. And like you rightly said, Boss Charity, that the first thing that we see will be probably in the area of energy, that your energy begins to wane, because I can relate to that. Like we talk about that testimony, I can relate to that. So your energy. But what we must do about it is this. First of all, you must ask yourself some questions. You must ask yourself some questions, because you know your body best, and you could feel, like Bob Marley says, he who feels it knows it. You feel it and you know it. So straight away, as an intelligent individual, you must begin to ask yourself some questions and begin to take steps to, as it were, try and prevent it. Like Pastor Sheila said, yes, obviously, the metabolism will begin to dwindle with everybody. But what I want to see at this juncture is that, yes, we do agree that it will dwindle, but we can do things to delay, hold it back, and probably spice it up a little bit. Now, the area which I would want to come in because of our meeting here today is that I found out, and I didn't know this, I didn't know this for so many years. I found out that one of the main ways that our metabolism can be refueled, right, is actually through plants-based stuff. Okay.
Pastor Fred, I'm going to stop you there. Because I don't want you to go into that.
Okay, just to stay here.
Yeah. Let me stop you there. Yeah. And I love the fact that you're bringing this from the angle of a layman, which which is very, very good. And thank you. And I appreciate that so much, because like we said, rightly, it varies from individuals, but the generic one is the fact of your energy, because of why?
Right.
Because of the role that your metabolism plays in your body.
That's right.
That thriving, that keeping you energetic, that keeping you always on the go, and so once it begins to slow down, so that means it's no longer able to thrive, it's no longer able to do what it's meant to do. That means all those chemicals processing all the things that they process in the body, what begins to slow down, and they need to be kept active. So thank you so much, Pastor Fred. I love that, but I don't want you to go too far, because we're gonna come back to how plant-based is helping, and that's where you're gonna have to come in. So I'll put you on hold there for now. So Marcia, 54, not just a mom, you're muted, but a grandma of 2. Wow.
53.
53, sorry, I'm adding 1, sorry, 53. Yeah. Yeah. And a grandma of 2. How are you keeping this up for your age?
Sorry?
Amazing. How are you keeping it up with the 2 grandchildren at your age and with your work? Because I know I see some of your pictures that you post with your granddaughter and all of that and everything. And, I want to ask you this question, as a mom, as a grandma, for your age, how important is it that your metabolism is always at top? How important is it?
Well, for all the other participants who just spoke, they really covered a lot of the things relating to metabolism. And so what I'm going to say is how to keep your metabolism going, or how do I keep myself going, is basically I try, because one of the things with metabolism is that, as was said earlier, it's like a chemical process in your body. And as you get older, your system begins to depreciate. Everything in your system, internally, externally, will automatically start to go down. Okay, and that all has to do with your metabolic rate. So for you to tap into, like, keeping up your energy and stuff like that, the things that I normally do is basically you have to try and get enough sleep. You understand? To keep your energy up, you have to go to bed certain hours. You have to, it's not all the time you can do it, but from my own experience, I literally have to try and get at least 8 to 10 hours of sleep. Before, I used to be able to cope on 4 hours. But now I cannot do that. So I have to go to bed early so I can wake up and feel energized. So that's one of the things that, with that will help. The other thing is eating. I know you said you don't want to go into plant-based, but if I'm going to talk about what keeps me going, I have to talk about food. You have to eat healthy as well. Mm-hmm. And healthy mean that you have to eat like a complete diet. The full, the proper carbs, the seeds, whatever you get from them, you need to eat a proper diet with enough calories as well. Not just like ordinary like calories like cakes and stuff like that, but healthy calories. You understand? You have to drink a lot of water as well. So those are the things.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can see, Marcia, that you want to start sharing the tips. So I think we just gotta go into it. Let's just dive into it.
Because you asked me what I do.
Yeah, exactly. Because I've asked you what you do. So let's just dive into it now. Let's just dive into it, because I know that every single one of us here tonight, there is something that we are doing, and the similarity of what we are doing is the fact that we have decided, to change our lifestyle. We've decided to start looking at what we are eating, how we are eating it, and adding more plant-based nutrition to what we are doing. And like you said, yes, sleep, eating healthy, drinking enough water, and all of that. But I want to ask each and every one of you, and this question is for every single one of you. you have introduced plant-based nutrition into your health for each and every one of us. How has this helped, when it comes to your metabolism? How would you say that, before I discovered this was what my lifestyle was, but adding this plant-based nutrition to my health now, and with the age that I am, I can see certain changes. What are those changes, and what is it that you're doing? So I'm going to kick off with you, Marcia, because you're already talking about it. So let's kick this off with you and get you on the go. If you can unmute yourself, please. You're unmuted.
Okay. Thank you for that. Yeah. So I'll just carry on. So using myself as example, before going to a plant-based diet, even though I'm not a full plant-based diet dieter, I have mainly plant-based at the moment. Before going into that, I was experiencing a lot of issues. I don't know if you want me to talk about my experience.
Yeah, go on. Just go on.
I was experiencing, once I hit that big 5-0, I don't be word charity, but once I hit that big 5-0, not that I wasn't eating healthy before, but I started having like some symptoms in my body. I had joint pains. And when I say joint pains, I mean pain in my knees, my finger joints, my shoulder joints. Most of my joints, I could feel, pains in them. I started piling on weight around my abdomen, my belly, and, all those stuff. I was very tired. I get lethargic very quickly and stuff like that. So, and being a nurse, you need to have like good energy and stuff like that to do your job. You understand? You can't go to work. There are times I go to work and I eat and I just don't want to move from my seat. I just want to sit there. You understand? But I know I have to go back to work, and that's after eating. And your food is meant to give you energy. So after moving on, I knew about fruits and vegetables and all that. But after I started introducing more into my diet, like using the capsules that we use, with the 30 different fruits and vegetables that we get from it, I noticed that my body started to improve in that regard. I have more energy, the joint pains went, and all those sort of stuff. And it's basically because from my research, plant-based diets is loaded with loads of phytonutrients, minerals, vitamins, and other phytochemicals, and all those that helps to provide the body and nourish it with what it needs. And that helps to improve our metabolism. And the nutrients that we intake that goes into our body and burns, that's what give us the energy that we need to carry on doing what we need to do. When you have a natural plant-based energy, as opposed to processed food, it's different. You understand? The processed food is packed with all kind of saturated fat and all those chemicals in it that is not good for our system. But when you have a plant-based diet, with all the natural stuff that are in it, natural nutrients and stuff, that is what helps to keep our body working. So I'll pass that on to somebody else.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. The fact that you've talked about that when you introduce plant-based with the capsules into what you're doing. So the thing is, it's not about that you were not eating healthy. It's not the fact that you did not know the things that you had to do. You were eating fruits and vegetables and all of that. And I love the fact that when you talked about, when you hit the big 5-0 and the weight that you were putting on, and all of that. And all of this is down to the fact that your metabolism is slowing down. It's slowing down. And because it's slowing down, it affects the digestive system, and that makes it whereby you start putting on weight. And it becomes so slow for you to lose whatever weight that you've put on. So it's about knowing the right thing to do. So thank you so much, Marcia, for sharing your story. I'm going to come to you, Pastor Fred, because I know you were already hitting into it then. And I'm going to save Pastor Sheila for last. So I'm going to come to you, Pastor Fred. kick off from where you stopped when you wanted to talk about the plant-based, and how has this helped you? You being the oldest, sorry, I'm going to have to say that, but you being the oldest on this platform tonight, yeah? I want you to give us what has changed for you, you know?
Right. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. And I would say, continuing from where both of my speakers have, aptly spoken, is the fact that once again, for me, why this has been a life changer is because of the science behind it, which we are discussing about. And once again, in layman terms, I'll still go by the imagery of resting. So right now, once that metabolism begins to slow down, it means that the cells in your system are, quote and unquote, rusting away. So they need to be replenished. Yes, I know that when we are going out, we eat the odd orange here, we eat the odd mango once in a while, but there's a problem with that. They are isolated. And then number two, you cannot get the correct measurement of it that is required in your system. So what our company has done is that they've been able to synergize all these fruits and vegetables, which under normal circumstances you'd have eaten it isolated, in isolation. They might have been overcooked, they might have been overstored. You put them at the right temperature, you put them all together so that your body is flooded, maximally by all these things. Now, why is that so? Because before I got to this product, I noticed those telltale signs. Energy level gone, digestive system whack, brain fog systems coming to my mind on the increase, and then my bones and all that, hairline receding, so many things were going on. But when I came into contact with this, I noticed a phenomenal metamorphosis, and I was wondering why. Why is it that? Yes, because if we had been doing this with Juice Plus, when we were probably from the age of 5, 6, 7, 8, having that older proportion, yes, we will age, but the time lapse of the age would have been slowed down dramatically. Okay. That's what we're talking about. We are not saying that taking it means that it's a one size fits all. No, that's what we're saying. What we're saying is that, yes, age is inevitable, but you slow it down completely to some extent, and then also you can still enjoy your life. So what happened? Check. My digestive system will have improved by leaps and bounds. My energy level is tipped up. I mean, you could ask my kids. Sometimes I sit here and I am here. I feel like I don't want to sleep anymore. Though when I'm tired, I'm zonked. But what I mean is that I can pick up quickly, comparatively to some years back. And then also what I also noticed was the fact that, I still have some problem with my limbs. They've sort of corrected themselves. So why? Because this product, Juice Plus, is supplying, all that is required in the system, renewing cells, vamping up the metabolism, and at the same time acting as an antioxidant, so that those processes that should normally, because of the atmospheric pollution, all that we should have been gone whack, they are held back. And you can see the example. You're looking at me. Leave these glasses alone. Don't worry about it. Look at the dude here. 58. If I step out, everybody tells me, I tell them that they say, no, you're lying. I said, I'm not lying. That's the truth about it. That's what it has done for me. I'm 1964, 25th of March. So you do that.
Ooh. So we've got a bet there this month, haven't we, Pastor Fred?
Yay!
Yes, we do. Oh my God. Yes, thank you so much. I love that. I love your story, because I know I've listened to your story and you've talked about, but you see, the thing that we tell these stories and people don't know how old we are. People don't know, could it be in his 40s? Could he be in his 50s? But the key thing is that we're talking about this plant-based nutrition that you can put into whatever you're doing, your lifestyle. Make that change in lifestyle. Like Marcia said, drinking enough water, eating healthy, getting enough sleep, and doing so many other things that you can do. So I'm going to come to you, Pastor Sheila. Looking at the fact that we've heard from Pastor Fred, he's talked about bringing it from the layman's aspect of faith. And I know you are a nurse similar to Marcia as well. But I want you to kind of give us a little bit more in-depth as regards to, how plant-based can actually help us, as we age, regardless of whether we're in our 50s or we're in our 40s or 30s, regardless of what your age is. Because I love what you said. The principle that you gave at the initial beginning when you started talking was the fact that even with a pregnant woman, the baby that pregnant woman has in the womb we should really start looking at metabolism and keeping it up. And Pastor Fred said something that when we are eating our fruits and vegetables at the age of 5 and whatever, that what we're doing is what we are eating them in isolation. In isolation. So over to you, Pastor Sheila.
Wow, thank you so much, Coach Charity. And I just want to thank Pastor Fred for his amazing testimony. Indeed, man of God, you look fantastic. No wrinkle. Your skin is, glowing and shining. My husband is 62. He doesn't, some of you have seen Pastor Julius. He's 62. He hasn't got any pot belly. He looks amazing. So these products we are talking about, they really, really do help. Now, Sister Charity, I'm just going to go back a little bit to what you said when you started, because I like that. You said when we start getting to our 40s or even earlier, we start losing muscle, and that muscle is very, very important when it comes to metabolism. When you've got more muscle, your metabolic rate, goes up than when you've got more fat. So we should be aiming at a lifestyle that is going to help us have more lean muscle than fat, because that automatically will help us, have that metabolic rate boosted up. Now, how do we do that? Because as we are aging, as we are getting to our 40 to our 50, let's face it, we begin to slow down a little bit naturally. You don't want to run when you're 40. Sometimes you have to deliberately do that. You don't want to exercise. Your weight begins to come on and you begin to feel a bit heavy. But what is it that you can do? Why I'm so tenacious about these products? How they've helped me, my lifestyle, helping that metabolic rate to go up. That is what I'm going to look at. You'll be amazed. Some schools of research actually says that from the age of 20, in our 20s, we actually start to lose that, muscle tone. That muscle, we begin to lose it. By the time we are getting to our 40s, you find that your muscle tone is not going to be as good. But for me at 50, my muscle tone is turgid because of what I'm doing. But you are going to see that your muscles begin to look loose, especially in the arms, in the thighs. And you begin to have a wrong, image of your body if you're not even careful. But there's something that you can do, and this is what I want to share, even in regards to how our body responds when we actually boost our metabolic rate, So the other thing I wanted to mention before I go on is that your metabolic age can actually even become lower than your real age if you're working on your metabolism, depending on your lifestyle. You can be 60 and yet have the metabolic rate of a 20-year-old.
I can say Pastor Fred has that. Pastor Fred is 68. He's 58. He's 58, but he has the metabolic age of. That
has been scientifically proven. That has scientifically proven. And no matter how wrong you've gone with your metabolic rate, you can still reverse things. If you put what I'm going to say into action, and what Pastor Fred has said, and what Sister Masha has said concerning lifestyle change, and how these products that we are talking about can actually help you. To start with, as we are aging and the metabolic rate starts to go down, the absorption of the nutrients that we take also slows down, because it's like a cycle. When things in the body are slowing down, even the absorption slows down. And our products, they are bioavailable. Which means even when that metabolic rate is slowing down, when you get in these products that are 30 types of fruits and vegetables with all the nutrients that you need in them, they are going to go straight into your bloodstream. And when they get into your bloodstream, they are going to begin to reverse those things in your body that have been going down, that have been causing your metabolic rate to actually become low. So that is why our products are so important. And you're going to see when I go through just briefly concerning our products. The rusting that Pastor Fred talks about, that is real. Because, when the body is using the calories to make energy, there's oxidation. They use oxygen. Oxygen is like fuel, So when that oxygenation is taking place, there is that rusting that takes place in our body. But when you look at our products, they've got antioxidants. nutrients that reverse that oxidation, that rusting that the man of God, Pastor Fred, was talking about. Those antioxidants are able to work on your body. So that together with your lifestyle change that Marcia was talking about, exercising, drinking lots of water, having enough sleep, a healthy diet, looking after your mental health, and so on and so forth, everything is going to work together for your good. Then the other thing I wanted to mention was that our blood vessels, which carry blood, so that our parts can actually be nourished for that metabolic rate actually to work well, they begin to narrow. They begin to become hard. It's a process of growth. But this can also be reversed, our products and our lifestyle change that we promote. When you use our products, some of the things that they do is supporting your heart health and your blood vessels. Those blood vessels that are hardening because you're aging and the metabolic rate is low, there is that rusting, they'll begin to become supple. Your blood vessels begin to become nice and soft so that your blood can pass through properly. And that's how you find that even your blood pressure is supported, your heart is supported, because everything is working in sync. So hear me and hear me well. So that's why for me, these products, I pray for Juice Plus every day, because I intend to use them for life. As long as God gives me that ability, because they're a part of life. I cannot do without them. I can't. Then the other thing that I really like about our products is how they help with our genetics, our DNA. As we grow older, our DNA is also being injured in the process of the growth and everything. That is some of the things we expose ourselves to. A lot of things happen in our bodies, and that DNA gets destroyed. And that's why sometimes you find that you develop diseases, because that DNA is altered. But our products, because of the nutrients, remember, they are not a medicine. They don't have any other concoctions apart from nutrients. And everything that is put in them is natural nutrients. They actually begin to help to heal that DNA that is actually going wrong in your body, which leads to a lot of other diseases like cancers and other things. So our products are amazing. So I don't want to leave out anything else, that I prepared. So when we get to our 50s and our metabolism is slowing down, the other thing that happens to us, which the products are able to help with, is that, that lean muscle that I was talking about, that we're losing muscle, and the muscle is being replaced by fat. That's why you find that even when you are slim, you still have a belly fat, especially for us women. Because the hormones, as they come into play, the hormonal levels are lowering down and so on and so forth. Everything is just deranged. You find even if you've got a slim stature, you still got belly fat. Then you're like, why? I'm slim everywhere. Why have I got this belly fat? You can actually reverse that. You can reverse that by increasing your metabolism. You can do it. It is even better for you to actually have more muscle. And that's why I like our products. They have plant protein. That plant protein will help you rebuild the muscles and repair the muscles as well. Honestly, they will do. And you need more muscle for you to increase your metabolism, because that's why you need protein in your diet. The body needs more energy to burn, to digest protein than the carbohydrates. So when you take the protein, your metabolic rate will go higher than if you are taking carbohydrates. So that is another good thing. And our products, they have got natural protein in them, plant-based protein. So that when you take that protein, you are going to grow muscle that is lean, without all these adipose tissue, these fatty tissues that make metabolism even harder, for the body. You are going to counteract that. Then another thing that I love about our products, the energy that Pastor Fred talked about, the energy levels. And why it does that is what I've talked about. When you are getting all the nutrients in, that metabolic rate, your bowel health, there is a lot of fiber in our products. That fiber is going to help with your digestion, and as you are getting more nutrients, you are going to be more energetic. So you'll be able to exercise, like Marcia says. It is everything is linked together. When you're taking our products, they'll put all the things that you need in place for you to increase your metabolic rate. Because when you're energetic, then you can exercise. As you exercise, you are burning that unnecessary fat, and you are remaining with nice muscle. And when you remain with that nice muscle, and then your metabolic rate again goes up. Because when that fat stays in your blood, that is what causes now what they call fatty liver. you find that they say, oh, your liver is in trouble because that fat, is going to start depositing in your internal organs. The heart, around the kidney, around the liver, and that is very dangerous in your blood vessels. So we have to work hard to actually make sure that we are increasing our metabolic rate. So through water intake, exercise. Another thing I want to say for my over 50s and even those who are younger, sleep, which Masha mentioned. When you don't sleep well, a hormone called cortisol is released. Or because of the stress. When you are not sleeping well, you are stressed. Or even when you are entertaining stress and not having a positive mindset. Accepting things that you cannot change. Doing your part and letting God do his part. When you're not dealing with your mental health, you're not sleeping well, when you're entertaining stress, cortisol goes up. And when that cortisol goes up, it actually causes your muscles to begin to resist insulin. And then you begin to develop diabetes, you begin to put on weight. There was a time that I did night shift for, I think, maybe a consecutive 5 years or 3, 4, or 5 years. I was doing night shift, alternating with my day shifts. I put on weight during that time, and I couldn't understand why. But now that I've done more research in this, I see why. Because when you are sleeping in the night, that is when your body actually releases those healthy hormones to deal with your metabolism and your sugars and everything else. And then movement. Look at our omega. Our omega will lubricate your joints.
Pastor Sheila, you're gonna keep talking and talking and talking and talking and talking and talking, because I know every single one of us, we have passion when it comes to talking about the products and sharing this. I'm just gonna let you just finish up with the omega so that we can start rounding up because of time. Thank you so much.
So what I was saying in short is that all our products, they are actually working towards helping us boost our metabolism, because they'll give us the energy. Our immune system also does affect our metabolism. When our immune system is not okay, when we are getting disease and illness, it affects our metabolism. But one thing I want to say before I go off is what Coach Lady Charity said, to say, when you get to 40 especially, you begin to see changes. When I was like in my 20s, I had 5 children between the age of 22 and 32. When I got to 40, suddenly things started to change. I had fibroids. I became anemic. I put on weight. I had high blood pressure. I was diagnosed with diabetes type 2. But 3 years ago, I stumbled upon these products, just in case you are hearing this for the first time. And look, the person you are seeing now is different. I look better. I look amazing. My weight has come down from nearly size 18, 16, 18 to now about 12, 14.
Wow.
Can you imagine that? My blood sugars are now down because I exercise now, because I'm full of energy, and my metabolic rate has gone up because I exercise, and I'm getting rid of that, fat. I'm having more muscle. Like you're seeing, look at how turgid I am for a 54-year-old, I'm so muscle. The performance, the uplift, giving me, the energy and everything. So I just want to encourage you out there to say you can still have a young metabolic rate, a young metabolic age as well, through lifestyle change and through using these amazing products to support you. That is what I can say. Please do not procrastinate. Start today.
Thank you so much, Pastor Sheila. Thank you so much, Marcia. Thank you so much, Pastor Fred. You know what? We talked about the fact of, when you talked about the fact of your muscle going down and all of that, and and how our muscle begins to turn to fat as we age and all of that. When you were saying it, the one thing that came into my mind was our newest product, Perform. The fact that Perform actually helps with max muscle. It does help with that. So for anyone who is out there, and I love when Marcia talked about exercise, having to add exercise to whatever you're doing, sleeping well and all of that. And for me, I do exercise Monday to Wednesday, and taking that Perform, an hour before the exercise really, really helps. So for anyone who is listening to us, or you're watching, or someone has invited you into this call, and for every products that you have heard Pastor Sheila talk about. You heard Marcia talk about the capsules, that she takes the capsules, flooding her system with over 30 fruits and vegetables and all of that. You heard Pastor Fred talk about, the changes in his life. Each and every one of our products are all plant-based. And that is what we have incorporated into what we are doing. Because of time, I'm not going to be able to share my story. But remember, tonight wasn't all about me. It was about my guest speakers. So what I'm going to say to anyone out there who is watching or who is listening to us, or somebody has invited you and you are here in the Zoom, you want to know more about what this plant-based nutrition is and how it can actually help you. My amazing 3 guest speakers tonight have talked about how it has helped them with their health. One simple change. That's what it is. I've got my own story. I've been able to, although, I wasn't at the age of 50 when I wasn't in my 50s, but like I said to you, from when you get to 40, your metabolism begins to decrease by 5%. Every decade, it decreases by 5%. So that means it might even be more, it might be more than that, but research would tell you that. So, and remember that our body metabolism differs. So there are people who have high metabolic rate, that those that their metabolic rates are very low. And it depends on how your metabolic rate is. So it will depend how. And based on that, it will determine how it deteriorates as you age. But all I'm going to say to us is, guys, ladies, my brothers, my sisters, whoever you are, wherever you're watching us from, please don't ignore your health. Take your health very, very important. And as you age, as you grow from day to day, weeks to weeks, months to months, years to years, remember that your metabolism is never going to be the same. It's going to be going down. My question to you tonight is, what are you doing about it? Or what are you going to do about it? You see people who say, they are 60, they're 70, and when you look at them, their metabolic age is what? That of a 30-year-old person, of a 40-year-old person. Why? Because they're doing something. So, and that is what we've come to share with you tonight. And I hope that whatever we have shared here with you tonight, that it resonates with someone out there and you're able to reach out and get in touch with whoever you're listening to from their platform, or whoever has invited you here tonight, and say, you know what, I need to do something about my metabolism. Or if you can resonate with any of the testimonies that you've heard Marcia talk about, Pastor Fred has talked about, and Sheila has talked about, please, and you are in that category, they've been through it and they've been able to do something, and they can sit down here and share their story with you. You could be the next person sharing your story with us. So I want to say amazing thank you to all my guest speakers. Thank you so much, Pastor Sheila. Thank you so much, Pastor Fred. And thank you so much, Marcia, for coming on tonight and sharing this amazing topic with me tonight. And I hope that as we have shared, that someone out there has been able to listen and can decide to do something about his or her health. So thank you so much, Facebook. For everyone that is watching on Facebook, we want to say thank you so much. Reach out to that person that you're watching this from their platform and do something about your health. So with that, we're going to say thank you and good night, everyone. Thank you all so much. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you very much. Thank you for
Thank
having me.
you.
Bye.
Thank you so much
Bye.
for
Bye.
joining
Bye.
us
Bye.
and having